Hey y'all, it is Miss Allie again, and just want to go over this sales journal. Now, in our curriculum, it's 4.02D, and this is a sales journal. This is another specialty journal that we can use that keeps all records of sales to people who purchase on account. So there's no cash being transacted here. It's just on account. They're buying on account. So all of these, everything on Sales Journal is going to list your accounts receivables, what people owe you. In the textbook, it is 10-1, page 287. So let's get started. It says, journalize the following sales transactions for Rowdy Dogs Incorporated that were completed during September of the current year. Use page 3 of the Sales Journal or page 3 of the General Journal. Sales invoice source document is abbreviated with S. All right, so we only have 4 transactions here, but if you'll notice again, they all are on account. These 4 customers purchased from Rowdy Dogs, but did not give any cash right now. It's all on account. They owe it to Rowdy Dogs, so it's an accounts receivable, every one of them. I want you to notice that on this first one and the second one, on the September 3rd and 10th, they tell us how much that they purchased, the dollar amount, but it doesn't tell you how much sales tax. So we're going to have to figure out sales tax for both of these. On the 12th and the 15th, they had 2 different school systems come in and purchase merchandise from them, again on account. But school systems, charities, churches, different places like that are exempt from sales, from the sales tax. So in this case, you're not going to charge them for sales tax, but they would have to give you a document that shows their tax exempt ID number, and you want to keep that on file. All right, so we're going to start up here. September 3rd, sold merchandise on account to Kennedy Reed. September 3rd. So I'm going to go over here to my sales journal, September 3rd, and this is accounts receivable, Kennedy Reed. All right. $500 plus sales tax of 6%. So the sales, the dollar amount that's going back to Rowdy Dogs is $500. But Rowdy Dogs has to figure out how much is the tax that they have to charge. And then keep in mind that Rowdy Dogs is just a collector of the sales tax. They collect it and then they pay it to the local government. That's all they do with that. But the customer has to pay the tax. So in this case, I'm going to let the computer do the work for me, and I'm going to type up an equation. It's going to show up here in this box, and I have it in my cell as well. It's going to be equals. Whenever you're doing a formula, it has to be equals in front, and I'm going to do H7 times, you use the little star key, the little asterisk key, and it's 6%. So I'm going to put 0.06. When you have percentages, you just have to change them into a decimal point. You just have to move the decimal point over 2 places to the left. And sometimes in this case, I had to put a 0 there. So I hit enter and it tells me, the computer did the math for me. And if you'll notice up here in the function or formula bar, it shows you the formula plugged in, but here it shows you $30 because it's telling me it did the math for me. So we're telling Kennedy, you have to pay Rowdy Dog $500 and you have to pay sales tax of $30. So here, to get her total amount, I'm going to let the computer add it together. So I've got H7 plus I7. Notice how it puts the H7 in blue and then it highlights that cell in blue, and the I7 in red and it highlights that cell in red. I hit enter and it added it for me. So now I know that Kennedy Reed owes us $530. We're going to keep, Rowdy Dogs is going to keep $500 and pay the $30 over to the local government. All right. So my debits have to equal my credits. Accounts receivable, right here, accounts receivable, when they increase on the debit side, because I need you to remember accounts receivables are assets. You own them and they have value. It's a promissory note that somebody's going to pay you back. So assets are, accounts receivable are considered assets. And when they increase on the debit side. So that makes sense. Sales is the same as revenue. This is the money that you get from sales, revenue. So it increases on the credit side, which makes sense. It says credit. Sales tax payable is a liability. So whenever you see payable, it means it's a liability. You're going to have to pay it. It's just part of it. All right, so that makes sense that this is going up. We just collected the $30. We're going to collect the $30 from Kennedy, and we're going to pay it to our local government. So that's a payable. All right, the only thing we're missing is right here. Her sales invoice was number 100. Now, I can put the S in front of it if I want to, but I don't have to because everything in this column would have the S in front of it. So that takes care of my debit equals my credits. In this case, I have to add the two credits together, and it equals my debits. Next transaction is on the 10th. Sold merchandise on account to this Kisti Pool. And I'm just going to cut and paste her name. So this is on the 10th. Now, what happened? Paste. It didn't bring it over. Okay. Kisti Pool. And that was sales invoice 105. Now we got to figure out what this person owes us. And it was $750 plus 6%. So we're going to put $750 for sales. We got to figure out how much is tax. Now here's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to let the computer work for me. I'm going to go to this cell, I7. I'm going to right click, because remember this has the formula in it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy. And I'm going to go to my next, I'm going to tell it where I want to copy it. And enter. So now if you see, it has a formula in it, but it shows me the $45 that Kisti owes us. $45 that we're going to collect from Kisti and pay to the local government. So my credits, I have to add them together to get my debit. Remember, we did the formula here. We'll do the very same thing. I'm going to copy and paste the formula. Copy, enter. It added it together. My $750 plus my $45 equals $950. So my debit equals my credits. The $30 and the $45, again, I'm going to, Rowdy Dogs or whatever this is called, the company's going to collect this and pay it straight to the local government. The company's going to keep this money because that's how much the merchandise was. The customer has to pay the total. Your debits have to equal your credits. Next, I'm going to go to September 12th. And Charlotte City Schools on the 12th. And this is sales transaction 109. And it's $150, and they are exempt from sales tax. Exempt from the tax. So it's $150 and $150. I'm losing my voice here. All right. My debits equal my credits. And I show that I'm waiting for Charlotte City Schools to send me this money. I guess technically I don't have to put the AR in front of it, but I do because that's really the name of the account. Next, we're going to go over here, and on the 15th, we sold to Wythe County Schools. Wythe County Schools. This was the 15th. And what happened? All right, so their sales ticket was 115. Sales invoice 115. They are also exempt from sales tax, so all we have to do is take the dollar amount, $457. Our debit equals our credit. Our debit equals our credit. And then on these two, the first two, our credits added together equal our debit. And that's all there is to that. This sales journal keeps it all concise of who owes you money. You always, always, always want to keep a list, a current list of who owes you money. Some of these people might take a long time to pay you. You might have to nag them. You might have to take them to court to pay you back. But if anybody owes me money, I'm going to keep record of it. Same thing with this. Now, we can do the same thing over in the general journal. And so over here, September 3rd, and it was accounts receivable, Kennedy, Reed, and it was S100. In the general journal, I do have to use the S. All right. And then it was sales. And sales is the credit, because remember here, revenue is sales. So Kennedy bought $500. Was that right? $500. And then we had to figure out the sales tax. So this sales tax payable, and it was $30. Or you can do the formula equals F5 times 0.06. Okay. And then here we put equals F5 plus F6. So it shows that Kennedy owes us a total of $530. 500 of that is going to go to sales, which again, sales is revenue over here. And the sales tax payable is a liability. Payable. Okay. And I add over here that assets AR. All right, so my debits equal my credits, and I have everything here. Remember, whatever goes in the credit, whatever accounts are being credited, you have to indent. Have to indent. So let's go to the next transaction, and that is on the 10th, Keystee Pool. Whoop. This time on the general journal, you gotta put the AR in front of there. Okay. So this is S105. No. And Keystee bought $750 worth of stuff. That was sales. And then you got to figure out sales tax. So I'm going to take the formula here that I used before with the 6%, and I'm going to copy that and put it in this box. So it just copies the formula, but it uses the current information. This one, again, we got to figure out what Keystee Pool actually owes us. So I'm going to use this formula. I'm going to copy it and put it there. So it added what it needed to. It added our sales and our sales tax payable. So my debits equal my credits. My debits equal my credits. A whole lot easier to find mistakes here than to wait until you get the whole document done and find out that your debits don't equal your credits, and then you have to go back and spend hours to find the mistake. Next transaction is on the 12th, and this is Charlotte City Schools. And this was S109. And they bought $150 worth of merchandise, and they are exempt from sales tax. So it's just 150, 150. That's all there is to that one. Our last transaction is on the 15th to Wythe County Schools. On the 15th, September 15, they are, and we put Wythe County Schools, and they were sales invoice 115. And their dollar amount was $457, and they are tax exempt, so we don't have to do anything with the tax exempt or the sales tax stuff. So again, my debits equal my credits, my debits equal my credits. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, that's not that. Wait a minute. Up here, it said we were supposed to use page 3. So let's correct that. And that came from up here, page 3. Okay, so we got your sales journal done. And we got the general journal doing the same transactions. Always use your DC Adler, folks. It's so, so helpful. All right. Until next time, peace out. Y'all stay well. Bye.